Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Me and 70s did run into an actual celebrity while we were in Vegas.
Really?
Coming out of the Avs game, and Brad Garrett was walking next to us. The really tall comedian guy that was on Everybody Loves Raymond.
He was really good at pacifier, too.
He was pretty cool. We didn't call any attention to him, so he didn't seem to have a problem with us saying that.
That's good.
We really wanted to get him. I mean, he was wearing his Golden Knights jersey. We really wanted to get a recording with him just saying, come check out Bourbon and Boarding, but we didn't want to, do that thing. So
that's, probably smart.
Yeah. That would have been a cool intro for our show, though.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, him going, are you nuts? I'm not telling you. You guys are good. I've seen your show. These guys don't know anything about hockey.
Yeah.
Talking about macrame here.
Practice. We're talking about practice.
Practice.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That one was Allen Iverson in the NBA. About not practicing.
So I got a message on Twitter from Andy Masterson.
Oh, no. What did he say?
He goes, I cast the head, ordered glasses, and the Converse for Hobo Gandalf.
Oh, my God.
And I just said, you are a god. Hobo Gandalf is going to happen. That's right. Okay, Ghost Rider. Clay. It's Randall.
What, have a 40K?
It's funny. Farted when you
Ladies and
said that.
gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between. Get ready to blow up on a Beamer, sneer at a Scion, and criticize a Cadillac. This is Yelling at Parked Cars.
Penis, gagging you with entertainment.
I'm gonna make a shirt with a little Chargos on it.
Well, that was quick.
That ended fast.
Yeah, it did. Hi. I was not prepared for it. Thought I still had a couple more seconds.
When have you ever been prepared for one of these shows?
Plenty of times. We talk about.
Okay, sure.
It's called reading the articles, man. It's called doing your homework. That's all. Doing stuff, preparing.
Yeah, that does one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that counts. Yeah.
He's reading the list. Check it.
Yeah, bring the rest of you fuckers in. Hi, and welcome to Wednesday, where we yell at parked cars because we're retards and nothing really matters anymore.
Really?
True.
Yeah.
That's pretty dystopian.
And my light turned off. Why did
I
you
was
pop-
to say, yeah, suddenly it's all scary.
Yeah. Ooh, spooky. I don't know why you guys popped just me. Here, I'm going to turn this back on.
You know why we just put it you? Because you're supposedly
Did you pay the power bill, or
No, this stupid light always turns off after like 15 minutes for whatever reason. Yeah. Not sure
probably
why.
a setting for that?
Probably. Which doesn't make any sense because when I turn it back on, it's all fine. It doesn't do it again. It's really weird.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yes. Yeah, it is very dystopian, it feels at times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on. It's just, I mean, what they did in the Donald Trump trial, this 702 ruling, that just stinks to high heaven.
702. What?
The FISA
FISA.
thing.
Oh yeah, the FISA. Yeah, FISA 702. Okay,
Man,
yeah,
that
yeah.
stinks.
In
Yeah.
the Senate. Yeah. There's plenty
The
of stuff.
Senate said, "Oh no, Mayorkas is doing a great job because he's doing exactly what they
He's doing
want."
a great job of letting all those illegals in the country.
Yeah,
right.
we refuse to
I'll
take
keep
up
them.
our constitutional responsibility to have the trial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially now that Texas won their case.
Mm.
So it's sometimes it's hard to be positive with all this stuff going around. Then I get an email from Shield Arms that tells me there's a new accessory for my Glock, and I smile.
Might need it. You never know.
Never know.
What's the accessory?
So I've got a Glock 48 that I carry,
Mm.
and that's a single stack. But what Shield Arms has created is a double stack by taking the plastic off of the magazine.
Really?
So now they've got one of those that's extended.
Mm.
I'm very excited about that. So I've run quite a bit of ammunition through those mags. I'd say about 350 rounds each mag, so 700 total, just to make sure that there's no issue with a third party part to the firearm.
No, that's always smart. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you put it through the ringer of tests when you swap stuff out for your carry gun. Yeah, that's very smart. I need to go to the range. I haven't gone in a couple of months, and I need to I've been wanting to go at least twice a month, mainly just to keep my skills up, and the fact that my new carry gun I'm not super used to yet, even though I think I'm doing a decent job shooting it. But one thing I've noticed with the M&P Shield, whenever I shoot it, I feel like it starts getting loose in my hand. It's like normally, like with my Glock 19, I don't have that problem because it's a bigger, handhold. Where this, it's a thinner gun and it tends to move around in your hand if you don't have a tight enough grip on it.
And what I had bought some exercise resistance for grip, one that uses each 5 fingers independently, because I want to increase the grip of the bottom 3 fingers of my right hand and my thumb while not articulating the index finger. That way you can practice trigger control separately from there. So, but yeah, you have to practice that stuff. You have to do it. It's a skill, just like everything else.
Yep.
And if you don't, you will lose it. And the one thing you don't want is a malfunction on something that you're relying on to save your life. Because if I'm using that, there's some bad stuff happening, right? And you want to make sure it works. So.
Yeah, 100%. I love how Empress says, "Do more hand jobs."
I actually, yeah. Well, I mean, comics, kind of does that already. Yeah, well, I saw some videos of you in Vegas, you and Roland, doing some hand stuff.
You mean like shaking hands?
Yeah, that. Yeah, we'll call it that.
Saying hi.
Hey, how are you? Look at these shirts.
Yeah, I think the other thing we were doing was like that.
Yeah,
pointing at the shirts.
Sure. Yeah, that's a gesture.
Shaking hands and
shaking hands,
swords.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's.
Well, Brahma, he was definitely doing a lot of crossing swords there. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was at a hockey game.
Yeah.
So.
I think that was crossing
With
sticks. Yeah.
Puck up. Him in 70s.
Mm-hmm.
70s looked real excited. He looked good, and I'm glad he had the back thing and all that stuff. I'm glad he's feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
But he
actually
really
worked
good.
out well for him because walking around helped loosen up his back a lot more than if he was just standing around or sitting around. So the amount of walking we did in Vegas, he was actually feeling really good with his back. So
yeah, that's good.
Did you guys get attacked by any female police officers in spandex?
Thank God, no. We were not on the strip at all this year. So
I was, and yes,
okay,
they're still there, and even worse. Now, about every 15 feet, there's a whole bunch of people trying to get you to go to their timeshare presentations.
Oh my God!
So Vegas.
Oh, so it's like Branson, Missouri.
Yeah, Vegas has gotten to the point where it's just like, no, I'm not exiting the hotel except to get into an Uber because walking around there now is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad we didn't stay on the strip this year because it was quieter and you could actually fall asleep and not wake up in the middle of the night to a fucking random, noise outside.
Oh, we had sirens going nonstop.
Yeah, I'm completely happy that we didn't stay anywhere near the strip. So next year I'll do the same thing where not going to be on the strip.
Yeah.
So
well, just down from where you guys did end up, the South Point is fantastic. It's like a self-contained city, in itself. It's got all the restaurants in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the casino. It's got a movie theater. It's got an arcade. It's got a bowling alley. And, I mean, the place is just huge. So you can spend your whole time in Vegas without ever leaving that hotel if you choose to.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's fairly affordable.
All right. Let's talk about...
if you're talking, we can't hear you.
No, I was eating a Pearson's mint patty.
Okay, because your mouth was moving, but there was no sound coming out.
Well...
No one's complaining. Oh, there you
go. Yeah, there we go. Welcome to another edition As the World Burns.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, so have any of you guys paid attention to what was going on with Israel and Iran, how they basically shot missiles?
Yeah. Iran basically blew its load and now looks like fools because Israel, just got proven that they were the stronger one because they were able to swat every one of those out with our help, swat them right out of the air. And that is Iran's whole military. They have missiles and they have drones. They don't have an army.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have an air force. They don't have a navy. So they took their shot and look like idiots doing it.
The U.S. supplied both sides.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. We supplied money to Iran and everything else to Israel. I was listening to Goshen Prepping when I got back, and it's how I heard about it. And one of the things that they were saying, and it's pure speculation, folks, no proof. I haven't really dived too deeply. I'm kind of curious to see if anyone else heard anything about this. But they were saying, so the guy's former military, he was mentioning one thing that was going on. I'm not gonna say it's like the nuclear alert system that was going off, but it was like something that was, I wish I could remember what he said. But in a nutshell, he's speculating that the missiles that were launched at Israel were actually nuclear. And the fact that
ballistic, but I haven't heard anything about nuclear, but they were ballistic missiles. They were the size of like 3 buses back to back to back. So
yeah. So I was curious if you guys have heard anything like that.
I did hear that they fired them all at military installations and not civilians, and that there was significant damage done to some of the military stuff, but that wasn't like verified or anything on that part. And then the other thing that some of the military people over at Future Conflict or someone else, or maybe it's another one I read, said that by doing that, it was a pretest to see how we would respond to that type of attack and to see our pattern of how we would attack and where we would attack at and how long it took us to reload and do things like that. That kind of attack, since they didn't aim at civilians and did the most damage, it was a pre-attack to see how we would respond and to kind of get intel that way. But we got intel too, because they did a map of where all the shots came from and the line of trajectory back. Yeah, trajectory back from its source. And it was mostly all over Iran, and then Yemen were the two places that the missiles came from.
Yeah.
Well, until some 32-year-old dude named Damien heads over to the Middle East, I think I'm okay.
Born of a jackal.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be like some sort of millennial joke or something, but it's like, oh, okay, we're going there.
Yeah, but I mean, Brahma said born of a jackal. I wasn't talking about Chelsea Clinton. Dude. Very rude of you.
Her real name is Demona. It was a mistranslation. It wasn't Dave, it was Demona.
Yeah, there's... Well, you got the articles. We could talk about any one of those articles. But
yeah, I was about to ask you guys, what do you want to talk about first? We want to talk about NPR, or do you want to talk about the FISA stuff first? Or do you want to talk about the impeachment?
Whatever you want.
No, let's start with the Mayorkas impeachment. I'm not surprised. Okay, the fact that this got shot down. Not surprised. I didn't even realize it was still going on. I honestly thought they already nixed it, and that was it. Actually, before we get too deep in this, Pinochet has been rumble ranting us. Yeah. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5. So I brought it up many times, but the video clip of the NPR CEO shows the Atlantic Council. The Atlantic Council is made up of current and former Fed bureaucrats. They funded the Sunrise Movement.
Well, actually, I did research on this today, and it is funded by 11 federal agencies.
Oh, NPR?
Yeah, no, the
Sunrise
Atlantic.
The Atlantic.
Okay. The Atlantic. What is it?
Council.
Council. Yes.
He says for $5, the Sunrise Movement, if you remember, is made up of federal employees who started the sit-in protest. Famously, they did a sit-in in Feinstein's office where they used kids as pawns and screamed at her. Also, for $5, Pinochet says, if you want some entertainment, check out The Fat Electrician. Somebody else mentioned this. Was it Pinochet? He did a video on Operation Prey. No, it was WG who mentioned The Fat Electrician. Did a video on Operation Praying Mantis. There we go. From 1988, where the U.S. decimated half of Iran's decimated half of Iran's army, or navy, in 8 hours. Pandemic treaty next month. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. So the border crisis is a fucking mess. Of course, the Biden administration would not be held accountable for the big mess that they created. And it was created by them because we saw what was going on under Trump. And we all know that they were screaming at him, kids in cages, kids in cages. Meanwhile, they still put kids in cages, even though it's a Democratic president now. And conveniently, nobody's bringing up that they're putting kids in cages anymore. Why? Because it's a Democratic president.
Right. They also stopped whipping the illegals using horse reins.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That was... God.
Well,
that shit fucking pissed me off because you could tell that shit's partisan because I think it was either Joaquin Castro or the other Castro brother that basically said they're whipping illegals. It's like, dude, you're from Texas, those are reins. It's like that don't fucking lie. And that's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of garbage. The way they spin all this crap. Tell
me you're. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, even the spin that they're doing about how now the border is the Republicans' fault because they wouldn't take up that immigration bill.
Oh, you mean the amnesty bill? That wasn't an immigration bill?
The one that allows, more than 5,000 in a day without even blinking an eye.
Yeah.
The one that was tied to Ukraine funding and Israel funding and just a little bit of funding for the actual immigration. But
it's all their fault.
They wanted us to take that poison pill. We didn't. And that makes the border crisis now the Republicans' fault.
Well, this has been a playbook for the Democrats for ages, right?
Yeah.
They basically come up with a bill. The bill doesn't solve the problem. It typically funds another pet project that they want done. And when it fails, they blame the Republicans, saying, "Oh, these damn Republicans don't care about insert issue, kids,
because they'll name
the border,
it the immigration bill."
Well, it's like the Build Back Better bill had nothing to do with fucking infrastructure.
Right.
All that shit was a bunch of garbage. But they, when they put a label on it like that, and it's not what it is, it's like you could have something called the We Love. This applies to anything, right? Even you could apply this to organizations. The one I like to use is the We Love Black People bill. And it could be like filled with all this racist shit, and people are going to be like, and the Republicans are like, "Oh, this is awful. We're going to vote it down." And the Democrats will scream and point at the Republicans. See, they hate black people, but the bill's racist. How can it be racist? It's called the We Love Black People bill.
The We Love Black People bill that's just funding Planned Parenthood for the next 100 years.
Yeah. my favorite, it's like if the Klan was smart, they would rebrand themselves to the We Love Black People organization so they can claim that they love black people, even though they're like burning crosses in their front yard. And so that way the low information idiots can go, how can they be racist? They love black people. It's in the name of their organization.
Anti-fascist is in the name.
Yeah. Fucking stupid. Yeah.
But it works really well for them with low information voters.
Well, that and the friendly media, right? Because they're the ones that spread that information to the low information voters because they'll run interference for, anybody with a D next to their name.
Yeah. Didn't matter what happened the other 3 years of this administration. The Republicans just screwed up the border just now.
Yeah. It hasn't been happening beforehand.
No.
Not in the slightest. But yeah, Mayorkas deserved to be impeached for what's been going on. And the fact that the Senate was like, it's rather telling.
I don't know that they can actually dismiss all charges. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Constitution has it set up to where they are required to have that hearing. I mean, the House brought the impeachment. That's the House's job. What they did was just gutted the House's ability to do anything regarding impeachment. So, again, one of those constitutional crises that we just seem to keep having every time the Democrats do whatever the hell they want. And we let them get away with it all the time.
Yep.
Well, that's because the majority of Republicans are in on it too. They're just a different side, the same authoritarian coin, that they're doing all the stuff to make money for themselves and their cronies. They've been screwing over. It's not the lower class that gets screwed over the most. It's the ones in the middle class, the upper middle class. The upper middle class is the one that really gets screwed. Taxes were due Monday. And yet again, Mrs. Flew and I have paid enough in taxes, federal and state, not counting sales tax or any other stuff.
Right.
So if you count sales tax, gas tax, all this stuff, 75% of my income goes to paying some kind of tax. But just what I had to pay into federal and state, we have paid in enough to now keep 2 families of 4 above the poverty line.
Wow.
So when I'm paying that much, and I'm not rich at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've paid my fair share.
So, Tox, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about basically all that money going to Ukraine at this point?
Well, I mean, most of the money that's going to Ukraine is the money they're making up.
Yeah.
Right. You count student loans, all this stuff, which has started back up, and they've really done the restrictions. That was a big one. Biden screwed a whole lot of people. A whole lot of doctors got screwed over by that. And what they did to kind of alleviate that pain is that instead of it being 9 to 10% interest, they dropped it down to 6. So 6.75 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that, and the pain from there. But the Ukraine is Vietnam, is Afghanistan, is Iran, is Korea. It's all the same thing. It's the military-industrial complex, of which I used to be on that side. But it is the military-industrial complex just feeding itself, doing that. Just like what's going on with Iran and Israel right now. It's just our military-industrial complex feeding itself.
Pinochet's got a great point here. Why are we giving billions to white European colonizers?
Oh, yeah, that's very
Because they're
true.
the right kind of white European colonizers.
Yeah. They're the kind of colonizers we can launder money through.
And they love the global agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's been that way for a while.
Yep.
You know, and the one thing about America when it was started, it didn't guarantee you equality or equity or any of that stuff.
Well, yeah, it didn't guarantee you equity.
It guaranteed you equality, not equity.
Yeah.
Well,
especially under the law.
It said under the law, right? Okay, so it didn't really guarantee it, though. It didn't put in there that the people who are doing the law can't take any money, that there can't be any such thing as lobbyists, you can't take anything from this, all this stuff. They didn't put into the Constitution the things that would guarantee that I would have my lawyers paid for the same level as somebody who's rich, right?
Yeah.
They didn't guarantee any equality of class. So what you have is the ability to be mobile in those classes, as opposed to case systems where you can't.
Right.
But you also have the ability to go down, right? And you have to pull yourself up, and it very much is a survival of the fittest within that. And some people, you just get screwed over. You know, you get into a car accident, and something happens, and now you're kind of screwed on that from that standpoint. So it just to think that when the Constitution was signed, manna from heaven came from above and everybody'd be great and all this other stuff. No, the Constitution was there because they knew that man would turn on himself as a society, which is what's happened.
No, I was going to say, that was basically what we're seeing right now.
Right. Once it became a fundraising deal and they started getting rid of monopoly laws and they started voting themselves the ability to not have to vote. They don't have to tell us who they're investing with and all this other stuff. And as a people, we've given up our right to be self-governed. And medical insurance is, necessary now, but it didn't used to be.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as that really until they had the Democrats put wage freezes on in World War II.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember because like a friend of mine talks about this on occasion too, because it was only like certain people that was getting the insurance during that time period,
right?
Before everyone had access to it. And I don't remember what they did to force everybody to, companies to mandate insurance, but it's ultimately what drove up the medical costs. Yeah.
No, auto insurance is the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got mandatory auto insurance. There is no incentive to keep that cost in line.
Yeah.
Right. Medical insurance was offered by companies during World War II because they would say, if you're a machinist, you get $15 an hour. That's it. Well, some machinist jobs really suck, like welding inside a pipe. And some machinist jobs are different, like pressing a few buttons and doing stuff like this, stamping or whatever, right?
Right.
So in order to entice people to do the rougher jobs, companies we're going to pay for your healthcare insurance. We're going to pay for this. We're going to make sure you have healthcare or daycare for your kids, right? And we'll give you breaks. And a lot of that stuff that we had really show itself in the 70s and 80s with break time and lunchtime and all that kind of stuff. Really came about because of that, to try and attract the best workers, because you needed the competent workers for a lot of those things from there.
Pinochet's got another rumor rant, and there's not comment I started from him. Again, for $5 says, I encourage y'all to look deeper. Ukraine isn't that simple. BlackRock was promised billions to head the Ukraine reconstruction. I wouldn't be surprised by that in the slightest. That is why they cannot go back. This is about forcing globalism. I think basically everything these days is about forcing globalism, I would say. He also says they are going to force Texas blue. I think they're going to try. And it's not impossible. I mean, Texas was a blue state, for the longest time, up till George Jr. Became governor here. And it's remained pretty much a red state ever since then. Yeah. So I mean, it's not impossible. I'm not gonna say we are resistant to the state turning blue. I hope we don't, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to force it. Not in the slightest. And of course, that's where the illegals come in too, right? Right. Especially if you can.
They've already changed everything there. I mean, because they passed that law that the census can include undocumented workers, illegals, and that it would count in allocation of U.S. House of Representative seats. So that's why they were sending them quietly to areas. And the reason that DeSantis and the Abbott sending it to New York and to Chicago has messed everything up, why they're so pissed off, is that's not where they were sending them. They were sending them to places that needed the fortification.
Yeah.
Right. So,
okay.
There's also California. Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, hang on.
California pet.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were reading something.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Make sure to put a pin in it. We'll get to it in a second. It says, same with the Missouri, the first state to become a 2A sanctuary state. Also, MO were the ones who brought Biden to the Supreme Court, which they are ruling on now. I saw your comment also about Texas and the let me find that one real quick. Ian, what's up with Texas? Your Secretary of State has no idea what a Biden executive order from 2021 made voter ID illegal. Social Security gives open, aka unused Social Security numbers for employers to hire illegals. They may have made that executive order to make IDs illegal, but last time I voted, we still checked IDs, and it was after 2021. So, I don't see that changing. I think like a lot of things that are going on, Biden says, and again, an executive order is not binding. First off, it's not a fucking law,
especially since the states run their elections.
Right. Yeah, that's another key thing too. Is states, and this is the reason why it's so important for the states to run their elections and not have a federal system that governs how elections can be run, because that's where you can get into some serious fraud. Not that the current system isn't immune to fraud, because it certainly can be messed with, as we kind of saw. But the overall issue with that is I think it would be a lot worse if it was federalized. You would have one party winning all the time at that point, which I think it would be a massive problem. So
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing with the border is a mess. You have all these people coming in. It's very obvious that the federal government doesn't want to do anything about it. But at the same time, they they bring up Mayorkas. There we go. I can say his name. Minor stroke there. They tried to impeach him for basically his inaction, the way he's been handling the border crisis. And of course, the Senate is like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine here. Don't believe your lying eyes. It's all good. Nothing is going on. How are you? Is basically kind of the reaction on this.
Right. Bill, what were you going to say about California?
Okay, California with the DMV. Eric Holder is in California, and he's been working behind the scenes. And then he had with the DMV, when somebody goes in to get a driver's license, new, illegal, or whatever,
The
Yeah.
they're not a
automatic
citizen,
registration.
but
Mhm.
he turned off the flag on that, so it flags that they're not. And it's also putting out a ballot, prints a request for a ballot automatically. But then my question was, what about people that have to renew their driver's license? Is that automatically sending out a request for a ballot? And they had put that programming in to go into swing states as well, as what
Mhm.
Sundance was saying. And so that was what I was wondering about it. But we know in California it is doing ballots on the illegals.
Yep.
So it's letting them vote because that flag is turned off.
Yeah, I'm aware of what's going on in California. Oddly enough, I do not know what's going on in Texas here. He says, yes, I know, but the illegals are given social security numbers, which they can get IDs with. They
Right.
have or HAV Act has jumped, allows them to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, exactly what Bell just said. They got the ballot that the feds will accept under the HAV Act. Yeah, yeah, I heard about what was going on in California. I didn't hear about that with Texas because I want to say, Bell, you shared something about that in one of our group chats. Yeah, so that again is obviously sus that's going on with that. But this goes in exactly what we've been talking about with the fact that the reason why they want illegals to come in for two reasons. Obviously, they want them to vote because they'll vote Democrat. And the second one is because of census, they can go and adjust
seats.
Yeah, they can adjust the congressional seats for those states that have the legal immigrants. And it's funny because I made a post, or I made a post about. I was responding to a post on Twitter regarding this, and of course, some idiot leftist is like, "Oh, you're just racist," and it's like, there's no point in responding. I want to say so. Basically, wanting to enforce the law is racist now.
Right.
Yes,
of
it
course,
is.
we already know this, right? We already know the answer to the question. Yes, enforcing law is racist.
It's kind of like when you bring up the term replacement theory, and all the liberal or all the leftists clutch their pearls and go, oh, "How could you say that about us?" And then they go out on the news and say, "Yeah,
oh yeah, we're
by
replacing
2030, we will have replaced a white population with all minorities."
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so you mean replacement theory?
No, that's
we
racist.
Would never do that.
We would never
That's
do
racism.
that. we would never intentionally replace the white population of this country with the minority population.
Well,
you're just you're just crazy. Meanwhile, hey guys, come on over. You see that border? Nobody fucking cares anymore. Come on. Sneak past.
That's because
nobody cares.
They don't want it. They do that because it's not just the white population they're trying to replace.
Mm.
So they say, "Oh, you're
voters.
a racist to the white people who are saying it because that's their card."
Yeah.
And then they say, "Oh, we're replacing the white people and stuff to the non-white people they're trying to replace because they'll believe it hook, line, and sinker." They've been doing it for 60 years, right? And I'm seeing people wake up in Chicago, people of color waking up and saying they're replacing us too.
Oh no, I mean that's
right.
exactly. Right. It doesn't matter what
those
your race
people
is.
Quickly get arrested though and stomped down because the Democrats have figured out how to enforce chains without actually having chains.
Right.
And it's sad. To me, the reason the U.S., the Patriots at the time, decided to tell England to go fly a kite on a 4% tax is they believe that any tax done without representation is slavery.
Yeah.
So I am so the IRS has enslaved me because I can't tell them to go fly a kite.
Right.
Right. That's how that works.
Well, this is like I mentioned before. It's like if you go out and buy a piece of property and you want to live on it, you don't want nothing to do with society. You want to grow your own food. You want to have, your well where you get water and be cut off from society. You can't do that. And the reason why you can't do that is because of property tax.
Property tax.
No.
Even if you've paid off the land, you still get property taxed every year in perpetuity.
And if I don't have kids of school age, I still have to pay it.
Right.
Right. And but I can go and vote the city council out and have them get rid of the property tax. And that if it's a strong enough movement, right? So if you get X number of people in that area to be the radicals to say, we're going to get rid of this property tax thing, and then you take over the city council and the city council votes to take away property tax and then rewrite your city or municipality constitution to say property tax is never allowed ever, end of story, then boom, you're done. Yep. And that's the great part of the Constitution is that it takes 2/3 of the states to ratify a change and amend it to the Constitution. And they have to have that ratified by 2/3 of their state body before it passes. But then every state has to pass it and ratify and accept it. So that's the thing. Everybody has to do it, and it's hard for a reason. You don't want 51% rule. You don't want that. There's a reason. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I was thinking about doing some merch or something around this because everybody needs to grift these days to survive. And do you know why paper burns at 451 degrees? Why is it specifically 51?
I'm guessing it has something to do with the composition of the paper.
That's the thing there. But 51% is where, when you have 5149, that's when societies burn. Right? And that's the kind of thing that was getting to me. I was thinking about that and reading Fahrenheit 451. And I was like, okay, yeah, at 51%, boom, everything goes up. From there, and we are so closely divided in our representation right now that really is starting to concern me.
Well, and I think that divide is not just within the representation within our governments, within our own population as well. Maybe not that 51%, but it certainly feels like it, because one of the things that we kind of talked about with any kind of revolution, all you need to do is win over 10% of the population. I mean, because that's all it was with the American Revolution. Was 10% of the population wanted a revolution,
and Canada wouldn't go with them.
Yeah, and they got one. So
Canada would be a lot better off if they had.
So it doesn't take a whole lot of people to, I'm not going to say sway, but to enact radical change. It's the same thing right now that we're seeing within our own culture. With the social justice warriors hijacking everything. I don't think they're as a major part of the population. Like, speaking to your average Democrat, this is one thing. I don't know. I know I talked about you guys individually about this. I don't think I mentioned this on stream. So
and the question is, did we listen to you? That's the question.
Probably not. Okay. So on my way to Vegas, I sat down to an older Israeli gentleman. He was the guy. He was sitting next to me, and he was with his wife. Who is funnily enough, she's Chinese. They're probably both, maybe I would say probably in their 70s. Both really nice.
Were they rock fans? Sorry.
I don't know if they're 70s rock fans, but
Nobody is.
Yes, nobody is. But we're kind of talking about what's going on, what we did. You asked me what I did. I told him I was currently unemployed and I've worked in tech. And it turns out he was a professor, tenure professor, who taught computer science. He was in San Antonio to see the eclipse because it was Monday. Yeah. So they're flying back home. They lived in LA, and he's like, it's like, oh, okay, California. It's like, I'm from there too. And we're talking about, he's like, well, it's like, I was like, I'll be honest with you, I prefer Texas over California. He's like, why? Politically? I was like, oh, well, there's a lot of reasons. It's not just that. But yeah, that's a big part of it too. And we're talking about he was telling me how he recently retired. And he told me, he's like, I'm a diehard Democrat. I'm a true blue Democrat. He's like, but I don't understand woke. So this is a guy, normie, I would say, not plugged into the culture war like we are. I was like, really? That's interesting. And he's like, yeah, he basically retired, tenured professor, by the way, which means that he could remain in that position to the day he died, right. But retired because he couldn't deal with the woke shit anymore that was going on campuses. And I really wish I asked for more details.
So he doesn't understand the mentality behind woke, not what woke is.
Yeah. Yeah, and not so much understanding like, I don't understand what it is or what's the big deal. No, it's this is something that, and again, being an Israeli, and again, I wish I asked him. I'm pretty sure because of the whole pro-Palestine stuff and the fact that I'm assuming he's Jewish. Again, didn't ask. But yeah, it was, it's like, I mean, I honestly don't care. But yeah, he retired because he couldn't deal with the woke shit in colleges anymore. I was like, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Jay was a drunk 3PO, grade school teacher.
Yeah.
And when I was in grade school, we had a male principal and a female principal when I went through grade school. And nobody had any problem with the male, teachers and things with the girls around, all that stuff. You knew where your boundaries were. They knew where their boundaries were. They knew when they had to get somebody, all that stuff. But, Jay's talked about it. He says, you can't talk to anyone without someone else in the room with the door open and all this kind of stuff. Because it's pretty much, I'm not going to say it's all the lawyer's fault, but litigation, right?
HR. It's part of it's HR.
Legal, all that stuff. And if I became president of the United States, the very first executive order that I would have,
murder everybody I don't like.
No, because honestly, I would feel bad leaving your wife alone. So, I didn't know how to go with that one. That wasn't funny at all.
That's fun.
It's not funny. Anyway, the first thing I would do is I would limit the number of people who could practice law to be 1% of the total population. That's what I would do. And we'd have to do it based on your cases won versus lost record. That's how I would do that stuff there. So I figure if we eliminate a ton of lawyers, the first thing that's going to happen is just about everyone in DC, because they don't actually go to court and have a one-loss record. All those lawyers, done. Right? So they're going to have to vacate DC because they can't be lawyers. Right? And the biggest problem we have is all these lawyers writing the laws as opposed to the common person.
Yep.
As a representative, I want someone like Thomas Massey, who's not perfect, but I want him to go up there and I want him to be a common person making common law.
He's not a lawyer, is he?
No.
Okay.
He's a vet, I think. So I don't want a legal guru mind writing the law, because all they do is overcomplicate shit. In fact, I really want to limit the number of people with college degrees in Congress. Because if you get one plumber in there with the power to be the accountant, they would just destroy what's going on there. Right? And that's what's happened. This is what happened in Rome. It's what happened in Greece. Same thing. Elites got fat. People quit being involved in their local governments. They allowed things to happen because, it's a little bit of time, boiled frog, right? And here we are. We know how those things ended. Now, history doesn't always repeat itself. I don't think that's a really true statement.
I think it rhymes.
Scenarios.
Yeah, I think history certainly rhymes. And back to the whole thing, what I was leading up to with the guy I was talking to on the plane. We see the thing right now with Yuri Berliner. All I think is a Claire. Never hear Berliner, by the way. who is also a true blue Democrat, and he doesn't like what's going on at NPR. And we'll get into that in a little more details. But I right now, what we need to have is more people on the left speaking out against this nonsense. Because obviously people mid to right have been pointing this shit out. And it kind of feels like to me, slowly, your more kind of reasonable Democrats are kind of catching on now.
Mm-hmm. One would hope.
One would hope. Yeah.
Before we get into that real quick, I've got a transition here.
What are you transitioning to? Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Leave my fluids alone.
That's all right. He's changing his ginger fluid.
I am changing that. So let me, oh, dang it. I don't know what I'm doing. I suck at this job. Why did you hire me? Oh, I know. You were drunk.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. Proof that England has gone to the other side and hates us now. They have made Prince Harry our problem. He has officially renounced his British residency and now lists U.S. as his new country on documents.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw Az's post. I responded, "Can we send him to Canada?"
Yeah, your problem now. And then I was down there. There you are. This country's full. Maybe Canada.
They got blasted.
Mexican Iron Man. No, we don't want them here. Them help to George Molo.
Well, the funny thing about it is all the Canadians were blasting me for saying, no, we don't want them either.
Yeah, you got 50 responses. Here's Pinochet. No receipt, no return.
Yeah.
I'm dying. And then Tom, wait, we did not order this from Wish. Oh, man. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Basco. No pass. David says give him to Mexico. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
The hell we will.
All the Canadians were mad.
The answer is no.
Funny.
No.
They're basically the Palestinians of white people and half black people. Nobody wants
pretty
them.
much. They're Palestinians of royalty.
Well, I don't think she's not comfortable around, other people herself because she wears bronzer out to wahoo, and then she gets around other people. She just, I don't know, runs away.
Yeah, I guess.
She's a tough one. And she's a tough one to figure out.
She at the polo thing this weekend and stuff, she elbowed Harry and stuff and pushed him out of the way so he was in her camera shot so she could hug the other polo players and be seen on camera.
Oh, she's nuts.
Yeah,
she's not too tough to figure out.
She's nuts.
She's definitely insane. And
she
it's tough.
Positioned herself to get to meet him, seduced him, married him, and then is getting her way on everything.
Dominating his life.
He's such a little bitch that he's not going to stand up to her.
No. Well, I mean, the funny thing about too, it's like, I think like a while back she was complaining about sexism in entertainment, and it's like, and she was like, one of like the suitcase girls on that game show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Let's Make a Deal.
No.
No.
The one with Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal. That was it. Yeah, and of course she was on Suits as well. Yep. I mean, when she was on there, I thought she's cute.
Well, she was only hired to be woman. The sexy person.
Yeah,
playing opposite the guys.
So I mean, she's a complete fucking lunatic, man. Yeah. She ruined Harry's life.
Basically, yeah, but they did that because
Harry kind of ruined Harry's life too.
Yes. Well, he did.
Speaking of our Canadian neighbors that don't want.
You take Harry back, dude.
Yeah, they're
that's your
British royalty.
Commonwealth. That shit.
Yeah, your Commonwealth. You take him, man.
Maybe someday he'll be on your money.
Yeah,
I'll buy you a copy of Fallout Vegas to take Harry.
God,
what does that have to do with anything?
I don't know, Basco, and he might like Fallout Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Extra Girl was playing.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see what you're talking about. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Tommy Division.
I was like, I thought you were talking about giving it to Harry, giving Fallout Vegas to Harry. I was like, what does that have to do with anything? Okay.
I can see where you're coming from, but that's still, there you are.
But they still held on to the titles. It's just residency, people.
Monk and Burn Notice were really good shows too.
Oh, Burn Notice was great.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Me too.
I liked Monk. Never watched Burn Notice.
Monk was actually a book series first, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I'm usually into the detective thing, and I'm hoping that Southern Belle will save me. But
I watched Monk, but I didn't read Monk. I didn't know there was books out.
now I got to go look it up. Daily Bugle.
Hey, I'm not the only one. He thought the same thing.
Yeah, but he's Canadian. I expect that from him.
Okay. Yeah,
He's above, and he's crossed the line. He gets things backwards.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the FISA thing before we lead into the NPR story.
Okay. I didn't get to read up on the FISA thing, so
I just saw the one thing that Bell sent, and the fact that while we're in Vegas, I kept seeing stuff on Twitter going, basically Congress betrayed us. That's par for the course, guys.
Yeah, that was when Massey had sent it out, the alert about it first, and about 702, and then what was it? Somebody presented to where they wanted what was it? Amendment talks or some sub amendment?
They did a secondary amendment.
Hang on, guys. I got to address a very important comment that we just got. Okay. Culture Casino is calling us slackers, and it's like, where are you, buddy? You're not here.
Exactly.
Okay, Culture, while you're listening, I want you to know that Andy Masterson told me that he had already finished the base for your head and had ordered the sneakers and a few other things for the Hobo Gandalf doll. It's happening.
Nice. Did I accidentally click on that because my computer kind of glitched out?
Oh, it could be.
Yeah. Okay.
Coast Guard had to evacuate a passenger from a Disney cruise ship off Puerto Rico. So he came to his senses, finally realized all their movie was crap and wanted off. Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Why me?
Yeah. Anyway, back to FISA, of course. Yeah. So, we saw all this shit going on last week.
The reauthorization, they voted down that first.
I call him out, and look who decides to show up.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, it's Pigtail Casino.
It is.
So he's all blurry.
Hi.
Yeah. I'm probably out of focus. I can tell you, I can't. Yeah, look, I got stuff to do, like make dinner and organize things. But I showed up because talk started to say that Andy Masterson had already done the base of what?
The Hobo Gandalf doll.
Oh, well,
yes,
yeah.
you will be immortalized as Hobo Gandalf.
I love being Hobo Gandalf. It looks amazing.
Hobo Casino.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. No. No, I just, I feel like you're not promoting the merchandise. You're not yelling at cars very well. All kinds of stuff. You're not. I haven't seen you. You haven't pimped anything yet.
Ecclesiastes.
I haven't pimped anything out.
I would kick him out, but he would just come back in and.
Yeah, he's got the same power as you.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has the same powers I have, so the idea of kicking him out.
I have the power.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
So speaking of pimping stuff, something happened.
Oh,
if I can get it to work.
You're sharing a screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing a white screen. It's not loading.
Yeah, he's trying to share a screen.
There we go.
Loud.
Have you noticed how close Hobo Gandalf is to Homo Gandalf? It's just one letter.
Yes.
I've never seen them together, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because usually that stuff's behind a paywall. I don't know what's going on.
Oh my!
Well,
I search for
but it's very bright.
Hey, so I might be late for tomorrow's show.
Okay.
Because there's a thing.
What thing is that?
It's a movie. It's called The Ministry of.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm seeing it at 6:00. What's your excuse?
I'm seeing it at 6:00.
Okay.
In a different time zone.
Yeah, a different time zone. Yeah.
Oh, look at the shirt. It's up.
Yeah.
Yay!
So
Okay.
Midget Man Comics, the legendary shirt that was in Vegas,
Yeah.
is now
But you
well,
can't,
kind of sorry coming up.
but you'll never get the one that Roland has.
No.
Yeah. No, it's not. That's not gonna be a thing.
So comicsdivision.com, right up to the top there. Midget Man Comics tees now available. Take you straight over there.
I've already threatened Tox that if he puts that up, I'm gonna delete the entire store and he's gonna have to start over again.
What? The Foget magazine?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
that's the special Roland edition.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he did message me and say that his wife allows him to wear that, will allow him to wear that shirt with her in public.
Wow.
Yes. So she goes, it's a little gay, but it's
But
not.
so is Roland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it wasn't like saying something like Disney sucks or something like that, that would bring attention. It was an inside joke.
Yeah.
So, and it's you as Richard Simmons.
Mhm.
It was good. 1984 is the price on these. These shirts are pretty good. And this was given to Gary and given to several members of the group. And Roland got one. I didn't make one for Brahma because I forgot. And
It's gonna say
But
you
yeah.
have mine.
no,
It's too
you're going to
late.
wear
We're
yours
already
on
gone.
stream. You got to wear it on stream.
Oh hell no.
Yeah, you do.
And
You
I
gotta,
can't. I've got a smoking jacket.
Why don't
That's
you?
right.
You can wear
You
it
are
in a smoking
allergic-
jacket.
You are allergic to money.
Yeah. This is a $1 million
Only because I
seller.
have a monicum of self-respect.
No, you don't.
Do you?
Dude.
I said
no.
a monicum. I didn't say a whole lot. Just a monicum.
Did you say Pollock? That's not good. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to say that kind
you're
of
not
stuff.
supposed to say that.
Not good. It comes in multiple colors,
Yeah,
including
every-
colors
ev-
that don't show up.
every color of the rainbow because it is
Look.
comics.
Comes in a faux pink.
That's salmon.
I know that's a color that Culture Casino will wear. He likes salmon, also known as
Uh-huh.
pink.
I do have actual pink and white.
Racist.
Purple,
Totally.
pink. There you go.
Black. Is
So
the
Midget Man Comics,
color
that's up
of
there.
truth.
And ready to go. And you can still get some of the other Vegas merch and things from there. So good stuff.
Randall, Invisible is available too.
Let me tell you, in the invisible
We save
colors,
a
pretty
ton on
cool.
shipping.
Yeah.
We save a ton on shipping.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of shipping, so the chips showed up today.
Nice. Yeah, there we go.
So I got to spend like $37 to send them to you, Tox.
No, this is great. Unisex. That's not DEI ESG bridge. Is that anything compliant?
No, it's not.
It should be they, them, he, him, she, her.
She-Ra.
That.
All of
What
our
about-
stuff is She-Ra.
Yeah.
What about lots of sex? Does it come in lots of
Lots
sex?
of what?
Lots of sex.
Sure. I mean, you can put it on and have lots of sex if you want, or you can have sex with a shirt. It's up to you.
Yeah. What you do with the shirt, we're okay with.
Yeah, you could do it on your own time, though.
Yeah. There was somebody on Culture Show. I don't know if they'd be watching tonight, but they asked for a certain color shirt
Oh.
or a certain color hat.
Look
So
at that.
there we go. So we got the pink on black. Freedom is always on the right side of history. When there, so we got it in pink on black. We got it on light or what's cardinal blue.
Sky blue.
Did I tell you that those two hats showed up at the house?
Yes, no, you did not, but I'm glad they did. How'd they
By
look?
the way,
They
Jim
look-
says that he
I
needs.
need my chips. I
needs
know.
I
his
need
chips.
mine to
I know,
complete
I
the
know.
collection too.
I know. I'm sending them to Tox.
And I will take care of that.
Ruben, did
Just
someone
send him
say
to the casino.
sex?
There you go.
That's right. And Ruben just shows up in chat.
Yeah, just
Yep.
poof. There's Ruben.
He's like a shark with blood in the water.
Mhm.
Yep.
Someone says the word sex, and like 500 miles away, Ruben's penis just lifts up a little.
50s bathroom colors. Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't go with anything avocado.
Thank
But
God.
somebody asked for purple, and then we've got the black, the charcoal on black, and we've got the Loudon on black. There. But yeah. So put those out there too.
Culture, will you be wearing your new hat tomorrow?
My new what?
Your new hat. You said 2 hats showed at your house. Are you
Oh
going
no,
to be wearing them?
oh no, those are not for me. Those are for the other party in the household. So
The culture boss.
yes,
And you can't wear her hats.
Well, no,
Did they look okay?
they look amazing. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, her hats I thought were really
You
good.
want to see one? I'll go grab it.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
that.
sure, go for
Yeah.
it. And while we're waiting for him to come back, we can talk about FISA courts or FISA and it being
The
renewed.
the 702 authorization,
Yeah.
which
Going.
Yep.
they can they wanted people to vote. They voted against having warrants before they entered an American's home.
It's so fucking un-American right there. I mean, yeah.
Thanks, Beefy.
Yeah.
Beefy bought a couple of hats from us in Vegas.
Nice.
He has.
Oh
he
my
bought one of
gosh, that is
these.
so-
Bought
that's
that.
so
Oh, there it
pretty.
is. Let me get that beautiful bean footage up there.
That
Mhm.
is.
That is
Look at-
very pretty.
look at
Oh my
what-
gosh.
Look at what is on her hat.
Her
It
hat.
is
It's a-
she has a cock on her hat.
That's right.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun.
that is funny.
Yeah.
That
That's
looks
funny.
good.
She
It's
likes
very,
it.
very meta culture. Very meta.
I know.
Those hats turned out very nice.
Yeah,
They're
they did.
beautiful. And those are the fabric patches. So,
Yeah, those turned out really well.
Yeah,
I like those. I like the
was-
leather ones, but yeah, those turned out pretty
I
well.
was surprised at how nice they turned out. So those hats, I don't know if we're going to make those available. We haven't discussed it. So
We might. We might. Don't want
The
to
ladies
overload
want
too
it.
much. Oh,
If the
speaking
ladies
of,
want
I got those the cock stickers in for you. So we got member stuff to do there, and we got perks for next year for members. I got magnets, and I've got some new cock magnets. So
nice.
Are they
Good stuff.
magnets you put on your cock?
yes,
Okay.
True story.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
that's what I
Yeah. So they basically again Congress fucked us again.
Oh,
with the whole
that
FISA
one was
thing.
tied. That was tied. But guess who what
What
Johnson voted when he cast his vote on that?
He voted in favor of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was the tie-breaking.
He was the tiebreaker. Yeah, I remember that. It's just like, Jesus, dude. Way to sell out Americans.
Yeah.
Guy.
Not only that, they can actually monitor your Wi-Fi now without a
Well,
warrant,
Yeah,
without
there's
just calls.
there's a lot of things they could do too, which is ridiculous. But yeah, the whole thing with the Wi-Fi is weird. The idea of the U.S. government monitoring the population without a warrant is so against the Constitution, and I hope.
Fourth
This
Amendment.
is-
Anybody?
Fourth
Yeah,
Amendment.
I hope that this gets brought up to the Supreme Court because this thing needs to be fucking shot down. It is so un-American. But this is ultimately what they want, and
But it's worse now. It's gone to Senate. They added a little Torquay to it.
I think the big thing for me, we've kind of talked about pre-crime stuff, before.
Minority Report.
Yeah, Minority Report. I've mentioned this, the whole thing with big data. This is the reason why I'm not against technology. I'm not a Luddite, but there needs to be, dare I say, ethics involving certain things.
Mhm.
Big data is certainly one of those things because I've brought this up numerous times with the whole Snowden thing when he blew the whistle on Prism, and you had Obama coming out and saying, it's just your metadata. We're not listening to your phone calls. That metadata basically, in so many words, defines you as a person, right? Specifically, your patterns of behavior. And this is where big data gets very dangerous, is because they can literally go and ingest all this information on you and build a profile on you. And when they see you deviating from your norm, they can go and start looking into you for whatever reason. It could be the fact that maybe you're somebody who's now having an affair, and maybe you work for a company that they want to have influence over, and suddenly they have the ability to go and blackmail an employee. Will that happen? Maybe.
Already has.
Maybe not. May have already happened.
Will all be known to the FBI.
Yeah. And so this is just another way of getting your information, your data, and finding ways that the government can basically dangle the sword of Damocles over you. as an average citizen if you don't comply. That's I think the biggest thing that's scary about it, right? It is the idea of we want compliance. Well, how do we get a population to comply? Well, you basically get blackmail information on them. Maybe you prefer a certain kind of porn that if it got out could be very embarrassing.
Yeah, culture.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Culture's porn. In fact, it's embarrassing. I'm kidding. Culture, you need to head out.
Yeah, I gotta step out. Thanks for letting me stop in and wreck your show. I appreciate it. And for those of you watching the show, stick around.
At least you're honest about wrecking the show.
Hey, well, at least I got you to promote something for a change. I gotta go. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow night, but I'll be late. Ha ha. Bye.
Not cool.
Yeah, all right. Have fun, sir. Yeah. So is there anything else, Belle, you want to add to this? The FISA
Well,
stuff.
other than the Senate, it's before the Senate now, and they added where the part where anybody can turn you in if they have access to any part of your data. So it's turn everybody into a snitch if they have like your health record, if there's messaging between you and your doctor, like in the EHR stuff. They said it across the board. So they've been putting out, to go ahead and call your senator and let them know you want them to say no to this bill. But they said the lines have been backed up. The people are calling since this has been going out by Massey and other people and other Tabiti. Matt Tabiti put it out today. Tahibi. Yeah, remember because I sent you that commercial or whatever he did. But yes, he sent it out today, so it's getting out. Then more than just conservative, it's going across other spectrums to let people know where to call their senator on this. So it's under RISAA if y'all want to look it up, like on Twitter, and that should bring it up for you what's going on with it if you want to call or decide or read through what's out there on it.
Yeah, if you can find it and DM it to us, and we can put it out there. Real quick, I do want to get to some starred comments. Some of these are super Rumble rants. Nice save. Kind of, not really. Okay. No. You fine. Okay, there we go. Pinochet is like after $2 for $2 says also based AI made a theme song I posted in your Gilded meme channel. I wouldn't play it while on YouTube. Okay, we'll save that for when we go and we cut over just a Rumble. Also, hello, Mutant Banhammer. How are you? Says Toxic Man Flu. It's not that they are trying to replace the white population. It's that they need to. Whiteys ain't making enough babies to support the social security system.
That's a very valid point.
Yeah.
In order for all of these unfunded perk programs to continue, you have to maintain a population growth.
Yeah. And well, the funny thing about it is they're discouraging population growth.
Right.
Yeah. Because of the climate change. Lindsay, the cynical geek. I don't know if this is her Rumble rant or not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's the one after.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are also lying for the genocide of their own people. The Democrats didn't need to round up minorities to stick them in camps. They brainwashed them to kill each other.
Yes.
Or kill their children.
Basically said the same thing. She just really wanted to get it on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she says genocide is happening to the minorities. The Democrats didn't need to round up black people to send them to death camps. They brainwashed them to exterminate each other. Yeah. So now it's for $1. Also, Release McCracken says 1 page, 1 law bills. Yeah, that would be. They need to go back to that. Big time. Big fucking time. All right, so.
They need to start reading the freaking bills.
Yeah. I don't think this was a Rumble rant. It says, FISA explained by Pinochet. We need to be able to spy on you because we lost track of the terrorist we let in.
Oh, yes. Oops.
Just be glad we didn't fly planes into buildings and kill 3,000 citizens again. Oh, my God. The funny, frightening thing about it is you might be right about that. The fact that we've let a bunch of terrorists in this country and kind of misplaced them. But okay, whatever. Great job.
Well, they also don't want you to defend yourself from them.
No.
Right?
No, they did not.
Very well done. I just have to say bravo to the Chinese. They did a very good job.
Of what? Trying to get us to not
winning
build
the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, winning the war. They've done a very good job. Wait, McDonald's has cookies? Oh, wow.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
sure.
All right. It's fine. Peter Shea's cop to us for $2. Peter Shea's book of the week. The Gorilla's Guide to Bofang Radio by NC Scout, bonus book of the week. The Gorilla's Guide to Signal Intelligence by NC Scout.
Nice.
I want to go look those
Is
up.
that about Harambe?
Yes. It is the Harambe's Guide to using Bofangs and signals. Also, for $2 says, look at my Twitter post to Steve Friend a couple hours ago. FBI is recruiting school kids to rat out parents, just like Mao did, and the Nazis too. Let 100 flowers bloom.
That's where we are, folks.
Yeah,
that's where we are.
Yep. It's amazing how much in common fascism and communism have.
Yep.
Yeah, that's some frightening shit, my friend. Very frightening shit. Let's see. I'm gonna go and share this before we change too many topics. Oh, fuck a doodle do. That's right. I can't share.
Fuck a doodle do. All right, I'm writing that down.
You never heard someone say fuck a doodle do?
No.
Really?
Wow, that's pretty funny. I like that.
You're getting no audio from me, Tox?
I can't hear you in my headphones.
That's weird. I can hear him just fine.
You can hear him fine? Okay, maybe it's just me.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay, so Thomas Massey posted this. Pop this over. It says, I regard myself as a wartime speaker. Get a grip. We are not at war. That's true. We are not at war, but that's what they want. They want a perpetual state of war because it gives them a lot of power when they do that. You know what? I need to follow Thomas Massey because he's fucking based. Okay.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yep. You can't use that as an excuse to justify passage of warrantless spying and bloating omnibuses or 100 billion in foreign aid. Let's listen to what the good speaker has to say. I say that jokingly, of course. I don't think he's good.
Look, we are in unprecedented times. Okay, we're in dangerous times, as has been articulated here, around the world, and here at home. We need steady leadership. We need steady hands at the wheel. Look, I regard myself as a wartime speaker. I mean, in a literal sense, we are. I knew that when I took the gavel. I didn't anticipate that this would be an easy path. Former Speaker Newt Gingrich posted a couple days ago on his social media that this is the hardest challenge that's faced a speaker probably in the history of the country, in the moment that we're in right now.
Oh, total
he said,
fucking bullshit. World War II, anybody?
Yeah.
What a piece of shit this guy is. And they could be the great and nice person, all that stuff. There's a few people that go to D.C. and don't get corrupted by the dongs that are up their ass.
I paused it perfectly as he gets like one eye kind of closed, one kind of
right.
squinting.
Yeah, complete bullshit. What happened? He went one of those sex parties. They got pictures of him with a mule, and he doesn't want those getting out because then he'll lose.
Yeah,
that's why he voted for this shit.
It was probably because of those warrantless spying that they were doing that they were able to get that information.
Right. And there's no way this is ever going to make it up to Supreme Court. This should be knocked down at every single lower federal and state court before it ever gets there. This is a clear violation.
Yes.
Of our constitutional
well,
rights.
It honestly, it shouldn't even get that far. It should never even been brought up for a vote. It should have been shot down saying this is un-American.
Right.
This is unconstitutional. No fucking way. Same thing with the FISA shit. All that garbage. Okay, let's finish them.
May be comparable to the Civil War, but maybe worse.
Oh God.
Jesus
off, dude.
Christ.
This is kind of like saying that January 6th was worse than 9/11.
Oh God, Jay, don't get me fucking started on that
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna cut the YouTube side, guys. Mainly so
Because
we
I've
can.
already started swearing.
Well, no, that has nothing to do with it. But mainly so we can get to the more spicier stuff, like Pinochet's AI song. So let's do it. Somebody drop a link in the chat.
I'm doing it now.
Okay, fantastic. And I'll begin the process of saying goodbye to YouTube. Goodbye.
Hey, Zeldzilla.
Goodbye, YouTube. Head on over and join us on the Rumble side to keep watching us. We will see you next time, YouTube, because YouTube doesn't believe in free speech.
Fuck YouTube.
Yeah, that's why I ended it on.